Hey guys, what's up? Welcome to my second video in my new series of Hunter Guide videos. This series is about how to play a survival hunter in Cataclysm, since survival is the best DPS spec at the moment. In the description I'm going to toss a link to my first video which covered how to spec and how to glyph, in case you missed that, just so you can go there and watch that. I will warn you, the quality is kinda shitty. I apologize for that. It was because I was still using Windows Movie Maker rather, for that, and I got a copy of Sony Vegas from a friend of mine, and this video should be much better quality. But without further ado, this video is going to cover how to gem yourself, what stats you should prioritize over what stats, what items you should go after, and things such as that. So let's get started. And in case you're wondering, in my last video, the reason it seemed like I was kind of rushing was because I thought the 10-minute YouTube video limit was still in place. Apparently I can download things that are over 15 minutes long now, which I'm really not sure how that happened, but hey, whatever, it works. So let's get started. My hunter isn't in great gear. She's in raid ready gear, 341 item score. My trinkets need some work, I will admit that. And then my legs are my only other 333 item level, other than my Eradicator's bracers, but those are actually the best pre-raid bracers you can get, other than the bracers of some consequence of Vanessa Van Cleef, I believe. I think they're just an exact duplicate of these, just with a little bit more stats. But I really don't care. I can pull 15k DPS. That's good enough for raids. Or at least that's good enough for the beginning raids like Bastion. But alright, first things first, at the moment the DPS increase stat priority goes as follows. It goes hit rating until capped, then mastery rating, then haste rating, and then crit. Crit is our lowest priority at the moment, just because we gain crit from agility, as well as it's almost on every piece of gear, and survival gives us a lot of methods for getting crit. So yeah, at the moment I'm sitting around 5% haste, 8.1% hit chance. Hunter cap is 8%, which is roughly, I think it's about 960 some odd hit. I'm not entirely sure. I never actually looked it up. I just geared until I got that 8%. As I said, my 5% haste, my 18.5, almost 19% crit chance, and then my 18 mastery. As you can tell, I do kind of stacked mastery because the survival mastery is amazing. It increases all elemental damage you deal by 18%. Each point of mastery increases the elemental damage by an additional 1%. And that does affect Cobra Shot, Explosive Shot, Serpent Sting, Arcane Shot, and Black Arrow. So it affects all of our major damage dealing abilities. And going on that trend, you'll notice that a lot of my gear is actually reforged for hit, if it doesn't already have hit on it. Since I am at the cap, I used to have a lot more forged for hit, but after I got my Treads of Malorn and my Vest of the True Champion, that kind of changed everything. But what exactly is there to say here? Just get mail items with agility on them and stack hit until you hit 8%, and then haste wise you want around 5 to 6%, because the ideal method for DPSing is you get enough haste that you can fit 3 Cobra Shots in between your Explosive Shot cooldown. So you can Explosive Shot, 3 Cobras, fire off another Explosive, and then Arcane Shot or something to try to maximize DPS. Yeah, you don't want too much haste, or else you'll actually run out of things to do. Like, you'll end up with a second or so left for Explosive Shot that you can't do anything, for risk of losing DPS by having your explosive shot come off cooldown halfway through your Cobra shot. The only thing I could see being amazing about haste is the fact that it does increase the focus regen rate, which I actually didn't notice before. And I tried doing some research on places like Elitist Jerks and Google. I could find no information on that. Apparently nobody has done any calculating with it, so sorry guys, I wish I knew, but I really don't. Let me see, hunters, we don't need strength or int or spirit anymore. Well, we never needed spirit, but we don't need int. Provides no benefit to your class, that's awesome. There isn't a lot to say here, sadly. I guess I'll talk about gems. At the moment, the two biggest DPS increased gems are the Glinting Demon's Eye, because it's 20 agi, 20 hit until you're hit capped, and then after that the best gem is just solid agility, 40 agility. Though I do like to take 20 agi, 20 mastery gems, just for the sake that mastery is always a nice thing for hunters. And by the way, you'll see my sexy meta gem, 21 crit and 2% mana. Aren't I a good hunter? Only reason I have it is because Blizzard still hasn't fixed our meta, which requires more blue than red gems, which is, even if I was stacking for hit, that'd be stupid. What else to cover? Well, one thing that I do and that some other top hunters do is if you look at this, we reforge away our crit for hit or mastery or haste, because as I said, you get crit through agility. Though, if you do hit that haste point where you can fit 3 Cobras snugly between a explosive shot, I guess you can stop getting rid of crit then, and then you can even start reforging haste away for crit or haste away for mastery. Though personally I would never ever get rid of mastery. Unless you're kinda like me where you're at 18.43 and you realize, oh hey, that's actually, that .43 ain't doing shit for me, so I could get rid of some of that too and reforge it to something else until I get an item with some more mastery on it. But that would just be kind of a waste. Yeah, that's really all there is to cover in regards to gems and stats. Yeah. Well, hey, I guess I'll also talk about factions you should go for. Guardians of Hyjal, I got first instead of Thurzin or Rumkahen, so I could get my Treads of Malorn, which are actually best in slot until heroic raids. I mean, there are some other boots from raids that I saw that are comparable, but Treads of Malorn are just better on the grounds. They have hit and mastery. I mean, if you're extremely far over hit cap, then of course you can get rid of those and get boots with, say, crit or haste. But for right now, those are really good. Then Thurzin for your shoulder enchant, which is 50 agility, 25 mastery. You need Ramkahen for your head enchant, which is 60 agility, 35 haste rating. Now I'm currently working on the Earthen Ring, so I can get, let me find it, the Signet of the Elder Council. Perfectly itemized for a survival hunter. Haste and mastery. And I'm working on Health Scream's Reach. Slowly but surely. Dragon Mod don't really offer much for us. I mean, you can get a Snarling Helmet, but I've got the one from Heroic Blackrock Caverns, so don't need it. And speaking of which, there's the helmet I mentioned. Crit, haste, not bad. Yeah, I'm out of stuff to talk about. So this video is pretty much over. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it enlightened you about stat priorities, because I actually did some research to find all that, and that's what the good hunters are doing, like Caleb and such. So when you see a hunter walk around, he's reforging mastery for crit, and he's got his 26% crit chance, but he's pulling 9k DPS, you'll know why. I'll probably be releasing my next video either either later today or Sunday, whenever I find time. So hope you guys enjoyed. I'm Vand of the US Boulder Fist server. Thanks for watching.